Alright, Gratin Dauphinois. If you've ever tried this, you'll know that it's the greatest potato dish on the planet. It's absolutely fantastic, and it's totally belies the utter simplicity of its ingredients, which are few. The main ingredient, of course, is the potato, and you'll need a baking potato, something that has a floury texture. You don't want a waxy texture potato, and you want to be cutting those in something between 2 and 4 millimeter slices, like that. I've got here around about 500 grams, which is about 19 ounces of sliced potatoes. I've got a clove of garlic. I've got some lovely Welsh salted butter. I've got some fresh British double cream. That's 300 millilitres of fresh double cream, and I'll be using an amount of fresh milk as well with that, but I'll show you that as we get to it. Now let's talk about the bowls we're going to bake it in, or rather the baking tins. You need something no deeper than this, about 1.5 to 2 inches deep, preferably closer to 1.5 inches than 2, and enough to take the contents, because this is not, you don't build this up terribly high, you have it fairly low in height. The one thing that some of you may notice that is not here is cheese. Cheese does not belong in Gratin Dauphinois, but if you do like cheese, a variation of that will also be in the recipe, which is in the description below this video. Right, let's get started. I'm just going to pour this cream straight into this. That's double cream, heavy cream, straight into there. And for milk, I'm just going to thin that with about half of that measure of milk. Now I may not use all that, but worry not, because I'm sure I can find a use for that at a later stage. Another important thing is that you can also cook this in individual pie dishes like this, or in small gratin dishes, but you need to be at that same kind of depth. You don't want them to be too deep. So I'll just put those to one side, because I don't plan to use those, but I might do if I've got too many potatoes. Right, the other flavourings you'll need for this is salt, pepper and nutmeg. So the first thing we do is we take a garlic clove, which I'm just going to cut in half and half again, and then you rub it on the inside of your gratin dish, whatever you decide to use for your gratin dish, and make sure you go up the walls all the way up. And what I like to do first is just half it like that, so it spreads it evenly. It smells great. And make that a nice thick run, and I'm going over it again with the other half because I want lots of garlic flavour in there, but I don't want the garlic pulp in there. And again up the walls. So do that efficiently, it's worth the extra time you're going to spend. Right, I'm going to take a bit of this butter and do the same with that. Just rub that all along the inside, and you can be generous with that. And again up the sides. I'm yet to meet anyone who doesn't like Gratin Dauphinois. Even people who claim they don't like garlic, they just love it. But there you go. And then what I want to do now, so that's a generous amount of butter on the bottom there. And what I want to do now is pour a little bit of the cream in the bottom, give it a swirl. Just in the bottom of the dish. Comme ça. And then we start layering. So you get down a layer of potatoes. Onto that goes a pinch of salt. Pinch of salt. some black pepper, scraping a nutmeg, not a lot of nutmeg, just a little bit, and then a bit more cream. This is how we build up the layers. Alright, we've covered that with cream again, and now we just go through the layering process yet again. Same as before. Give it a sprinkling of salt, a dusting of black pepper, a little dust of nutmeg, and again the cream. And then you just carry on that now until you've filled up the bowl. So I've got to the top of the layering, and I've just given it a quick dust of pepper, a bit more salt now, and I'm going to top that up with cream. And the cream needs to come up to, it's just about right, this is actually. And then just to finish that off on top, give it another dust of pepper, scraping of nutmeg. Lovely little thing that, really like it. Not too much nutmeg, as I said before, and of course some salt. So that now goes into the oven at 150 degrees Celsius, 300 degrees Fahrenheit, for 90 to 110 minutes. So that's between an hour and a half and an hour and 50 minutes, depending on the strength of your oven. But keep your eye on it, just make sure it's doing all right. And what you want that to do is brown at the top. So I'll get that in the oven now, and then we'll see what it turns out like. Alright, that's 90 minutes in. Let's take a look. Oh, that is lovely. I'm just going to let that cool down now. This is the painful bit. Once it's come out of the oven, you need to let that cool down to round about just above room temperature before you cut it up and eat it, because this one is not meant to be eaten hot, boys and girls. You've just got to be patient. So I'll let that cool down, and we'll get to it a little later. Alright, so it's cooled down. I can now cut into it and show you how it works. And what I'll do is I'll cut across there and across there. And lovely. Let's have a look. Oh, that is good. That is really good. That's really good. I'm going to take that away and enjoy that now. I'll leave you with a close-up. If you have enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you would like to follow my channel, please subscribe, and be sure to click the bell icon to receive notification of all my upcoming videos. Thanks for watching.